I see the walls, then see them fall. We break through them all. I see you crawl, now you stand tall. Grow and grow till tall.
Of all the truly wild places left on Earth, none are as majestic as the Arctic. Today, this unforgiving landscape has grown nearly impossible to inhabit. But for the families that live here, it's home. Come with us to the Arctic. Join us on a spectacular adventure and discover that nothing is stronger than the power of hope.
It's hard to believe that this really exists, that there's this much ice in the world.
I come alive being back here.
There's always a thrill when we find something in the ice.
He'd look up at us and then turn and put his head down and look up at us.
He was posing for us when he turned to look at us.
It was right in front of our ship.
This is real high Arctic, and we've got high Arctic conditions.
It's primal, it's primordial, it's exciting, it's great to share it with so many people who feel the same way I do. We're all a little crazy.
We sailed from Longyearbyen yesterday evening. We're making our way north. We're only 600 miles away from the North Pole, right in the high Arctic. And Svalbard's amazing. As nowhere else in the Arctic can you see such concentrations and such a diversity of wildlife in such a small area. We have 6 days to make our way around the islands, exploring as we go. The ice and the weather will determine where we go and what we do, but it promises to be a great adventure.
Leif Skov, the captain of the Explorer, is an ice master with many years of experience. And the job of captain and all of the naturalists is to try to afford the best possible opportunities for the guests to experience the wildlife and the beauty of Svalbard.
Just finding our first bear on the ice floe. He's about a half mile out. We're sneaking up on him, being very quiet. So we're hoping for a good view.
Of course, one of the things that a lot of people will have the highest hopes for is to see a polar bear. And at this time of year, this is a fabulous time of year to see polar bears at Svalbard because they're still utilizing the ice for hunting.
It's big, it's beautiful, and it's just captivated everyone. Fabulous, unbelievable.
I got the jump. It was awesome.
Wonderful. It is amazing. It's his world and we're in it. And it's a good thing, it's a good thing.
I live in an urban area. You feel it's somewhere else. I've got to worry about how I get home, get through the commuter traffic. Oh, it's too bad the bears are in trouble. But you come here and it's like, I'm in trouble. The bear's in trouble, I'm in trouble. It's just a heart connection.
To go expedition cruising anywhere in the high Arctic is a privilege, and that's not only for passengers, but the Peregrine staff, who are in just as much awe as anyone.
We've got incredible vistas of blue ice and ice floes and wildlife around us.
The leaders who take these voyages are experts in their fields, like Peter, who's been studying the Canadian high Arctic for years.
The ice cover is quickly decaying. We're seeing a 20 to 30% decay over the past decade. The disappearance of the ice would be the disappearance of the bear.
And Hayley, who brings the Peregrine mariner alive, not only with her love for sharing the adventure, but making sure things run smoothly.
This is giving people an opportunity to travel in regions they never dreamed about.
Expedition leader Dutch has been exploring these waters for years and knows the place like the back of his hand. And it makes it look like he knows how to get in contact with the whales to put on the perfect show. Cruising under the midnight sun in the high Arctic, a horizon doesn't get any more spectacular than this one. Days blur into each other as we pass icebergs bigger than houses and spot polar bears going for their morning dip. And when you're on board the Peregrine Mariner, it's a seamless adventure with a maximum of 110 passengers on board. Expedition cruising is more active than typical cruising, where the ship is the perfect platform from which you explore. From the inflatable Zodiacs, it could be a morning whale watching, where we get up close and personal with the locals.
That was awesome. So cool.
And in the afternoon, we drop off for a meander around the islands. No conditions are thought of as bad conditions. Even stuck en route, surrounded by pack ice, we make the most of it. And by Zodiac, or for those a little more daring, by kayak, we seize the moment and let the spirit of adventure take us right amongst it.
Beechy Island's the single most famous historic site in the Canadian Arctic. Beechy Island's the last place the Franklin expedition, or members of the Franklin expedition, were safe and secure before things really fell apart. These graves here are the final resting place of the first sailors of the Franklin expedition to die. Beechy Island is also sort of as far as you can go through the Northwest Passage before things sort of get rough. There becomes a lot of ice and things get difficult.
There's a lot of birds that don't come south, and the ones that are of particular interest to people like myself and bird watchers in general are the ones that are hard or impossible to see anywhere else in North America. So North American bird listers in particular, people that keep these lists of what they've seen, are obsessed with finding those kind of species to get on their North American lists, and the only way to do it is to come to the Arctic.
We're sailing past the east side of Prince Leopold Island, which is a bird sanctuary just off the north cape of Somerset Island in the high Arctic. It's an island that has cliffs up over 600 meters dropping directly into the sea in some cases, and so it's sort of an ideal colony for nesting birds, for seabirds that come north here and nest along the cliffs.
So, being the end of the voyage, I think this is a very, very exciting way to finish it with some fantastic memories. I mean, gosh, just standing here thinking back on what we've accomplished and what we've experienced in just 1 week is pretty astounding. It's probably going to change some people's lives, I think.